The MK48 is the first light machine gun you unlock in Black Ops 2 as soon as you unlock Creator class. It has the longest range out of all the light machine guns, only requiring 3 hits to kill in most engagements. However, the slow movement characteristics mean that you are essentially unarmed whilst moving. But when you are ready for enemies, there are few weapons that can beat you in firepower. When using the MK48, you have to stick to cover. Ideal positions are those overlooking an objective or covering a choke point. When you are behind cover, you are vulnerable to being flanked, and you will have a tough time using the MK48 without an at least equally matched team. When you hold down a position, keep an eye on the location of your team. If you are at the front without any teammates nearby, retreat until friendlies are protecting your flank. But only move when you are sure there aren't any enemies nearby, and it is safe to do so. Even then, stay away from close quarters and aim to find a safe position quickly. Reloading is a lengthy process. You don't have to do it often, but if you are close to running out of ammunition, be sure to retreat and then reload. The perks I found most useful with the MK48 were Flak Jacket, Toughness, Hardwired and Tactical Mask. All the perks help you stay in a defensive position even under a heavy assault. Flak Jacket protects you from enemies' explosives. Toughness helps you stay ahead in contested gunfights where enemies are shooting back. Hardwired stop enemies from taking away your radar, which is a powerful tool for determining where enemies are likely to come from. Tactical Mask prevents you from being disabled with tactical equipment. FMJ increases the penetration and damage against air support. With it, you can easily take out enemy score streaks, but under most other circumstances, the extra penetration with FMJ only helps a little. Quick Draw lets you aim down the sights of the MK48 faster. With it, however, you still aren't competitive against weapons that are more suited to close quarter engagements. It only helps a little in most other gunfights, letting you react to enemies faster. The stock increases your movement speed whilst aiming. It is useful when you know an enemy is around a corner and you can walk up to him whilst aiming down the sights. But when you are behind cover, holding down a position, it will rarely help you. The laser sight reduces the hipfire spread of the MK48. Combine it with dexterity and you can have some fun running around only using hipfire. However, this will be tough to do consistently since the hipfire performance is still poor and you'll have to be very close to enemies to be effective. The suppressor will keep you off the radar and reduce muzzle flash. With it, it will be much harder for enemies to find you, especially due to the reduced muzzle flash, which will let you stand in the shadow and thus be very hard to spot. Keep in mind that the suppressor greatly reduces the range of the MK48 and it may become difficult to beat snipers. The MK48 has a number of optical attachments available. Of the optical attachments, the reflex sight was my favorite. It only obstructs the screen slightly and makes it much easier to aim. If you have trouble with longer ranges, the zoom or dual band scope may help you out. However, the iron sights of the MK48 are very good and the recoil low enough that an optical attachment usually isn't needed. The foregrip reduces the recoil of the MK48, which will help you control the MK48 under sustained fire. Especially at medium to long range, the MK48 becomes much easier to use, letting you easily win gunfights. Extender clip increases the bullets per magazine. This means you have to reload even rarer, which will let you hold down a position for longer. Rapid fire allows you to deal out even more damage, but at the cost of a considerable amount of range. When using rapid fire, keep that in mind and concentrate on shorter ranges. So there you go, that is the class setup I recommend for the MK48. Leave a comment below with the class setup you prefer to use with the MK48 for a chance to be featured on next Wednesday's feedback video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time.